Now, I'll tell you why it's important. If you go into an exam and if you have, it's exactly where I lost a mark in speaking because hi everyone, for those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel. I am Navyata. I am a student at New York University and I'm in my final year of dental school. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 5 tips that helped me improve my TOEFL score from 90s to 116. So if you're interested, keep watching. My first tip is fairly simple, but it's something which is actually overlooked very often, and it is to basically book your dates when there are relatively less test takers. Now, I'll tell you why it's important. If you go into an exam and if you have people right next to you in their computers yelling into the computers because you have to do speaking section and everyone's taking speaking sections in different times, so you have the whole room which is extremely noisy and you're not really able to focus and put your mind to what you're listening, what you're reading. When you're speaking, your voice is very muffled by all of the background noises. If you really want to help yourself, then do book a date when there are relatively less test takers. And if you actually plan ahead, then you can find a date when it's pretty much off season, when there are not many students going. That's the best case scenario, because that's what happened to me the second time. I got in during April and I took it in Bangalore. For anyone watching who's from there, there were just 2 of us. I was sitting in one side of the room and she was sitting in the opposite side. So clearly it helped me to do better in my exam. My second point is to test your mic. Now, this is a very underrated point because I know there is a green indicator on your screen which basically shows, the volume, the level of which you're speaking into the mic. But if your mic is or your headphone is basically looking battered, it's looking worn out, then be sure to ask for an exchange, because that mic is going to determine how well your evaluator can hear you, how clear and crisp you sound. And also your headphones are very helpful during listening section. My third point is to get extra sheets. Now, this is not very often mentioned everywhere. Get extra sheets, especially for people like me who like to take elaborate notes, drawing those diagrams, putting those arrows. So if you're like me and if you like elaborate notes, make sure to pause before you start a section and ask for extra sheets. That's exactly where I lost a mark in speaking because I chose to ask for extra sheets when the listening was going on the screen. So I probably must have missed a few points they were saying, and that's why my score was not near perfect with listening. My fourth point, which probably everyone talks about, is to make notes and templates. Now, do not underestimate the idea of making notes or templates, because this will honestly help you to not start your answers with ums and ahs. Like I said, you want to start as confidently as possible. So these templates really help you to do your best. And also with speaking, I want to highlight one point, that if you've answered everything that question is asking you to answer, then you don't worry about the time, because I finished one of my answers 15 to 20 seconds before, but I still was happy with my answer, so I stopped speaking and I got a perfect score in speaking. So with experience, I definitely would suggest, if you feel you've answered all parts of the question, then stop answering. Instead of beating around the bush, this is the best way. My fifth and last point is to have different vocabulary. Now, what I mean by this is not to have like difficult words or memorize meanings of difficult words. That's not what I mean. Even as simple as starting your answer with different words, like say, as an afterthought, or start with meanwhile, say moreover. So things like that really add to your vocabulary. At least the examiner or the evaluator understands that this person has a huge extent of knowledge in English. So this really helps you in improving your score. Alright, so this was my video. If you liked it, or if you liked certain parts you thought it helped you, then make sure you comment down below, because it helps me understand that these are the kind of videos that you'd like to watch. Also, I'm extremely passionate about speaking and I just enjoyed taking TOEFL the second time around. So if you want me to make any videos about any specific sections, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.